In the forgotten corners of colonial history, one group quietly shaped the course of empires without ever commanding armies or holding thrones: the Indigenous Translators. The unsung diplomats who navigated the dangerous crosscurrents of early colonial encounters. From the 16th to 19th centuries, as European powers expanded their dominions across Africa, Asia, and the Americas, communication between colonizers and local populations was not just a logistical hurdle, it was a matter of political survival, and the key to that survival was language. These translators, often multilingual natives trained by missionaries, traders, or former colonial officials, were the bridges across vast cultural divides, interpreting not only words but meanings, intentions, and even deceptions. Figures like Malinche in Mexico, who served as Hernan Cortes' interpreter and advisor during the Spanish conquest of the Aztecs, or Dona Marina as the Spanish called her, have long been controversial, praised by some as intelligent negotiators and condemned by others as collaborators. In South Asia, Persian, Sanskrit, and later Hindustani-speaking translators helped the British East India Company draft treaties, adjudicate local disputes, and build the administrative backbone of empire. In West Africa, coastal interpreters from Akan, Yoruba, and Fant communities became essential in British and Dutch negotiations, sometimes steering trade deals in their own favor while navigating the growing threat of colonial encroachment. In North America, Native American interpreters such as Sacagawea or Squanto not only enabled diplomatic negotiations but also guided geographical exploration and helped ease cross-cultural tensions in ways history rarely credits. These individuals were rarely neutral. Some served their own agendas, leveraging trust on both sides to gain land, social status, or political protection. Others were caught in painful dualities, betraying their communities to survive, or resisting colonial interests through quiet acts of subversion. Their work extended beyond language. They influenced trade policy, military alliances, religious conversions, and the mapping of territories. Colonial administrators heavily relied on their insights to understand complex tribal hierarchies and local customs, often shaping policies that would echo for generations. Yet, many of these translators remain nameless in the historical record, overshadowed by the very empires they helped negotiate into existence. They were not just conduits, but creators of diplomacy, of law, of fragile peace, and sometimes of resistance. By interpreting colonial demands into culturally acceptable terms or vice versa, they shaped the psychological battleground of colonialism itself. They humanized foreign rulers, mitigated violence, or at times, tragically, legitimized conquest. But their presence reminds us that empire was never simply a story of domination, it was a dialogue, often reluctant, often painful, but always complex. The role of Indigenous translators forces us to rethink historical narratives that portray colonized societies as voiceless or passive. They were active players, sometimes caught in impossible ethical positions, yet essential to how colonization was negotiated and implemented. As we peel back the layers of imperial history, we find these figures embedded at every turning point, quietly scripting the terms of treaties, steering conversations that determined borders and deciding the fates of millions not with guns or gold, but with language. In closing, to understand how colonial empires truly expanded, we must listen not only to the generals and governors, but to the voices that spoke for both sides, the translators whose choices echo in every treaty, every alliance, and every cultural transformation of the colonial world. Their role wasn't minor, it was foundational, and it's time we place them at the center of the global narrative.